for me.
All right, guys, what's going on? We're here. We're live. Welcome to a brand new Poker Live podcast. My name is Jungleman, aka Chicago Joey, aka the blue flamingo-haired man. Joining me today on the podcast is one of the favorite podcast guests that we ever have on the podcast, and he is the MVP of the GPL so far. As we are about, I don't know how far we're into the GPL right now. Maybe 4 or 5 weeks in GPL, and I think that everyone out there definitely enjoys having him on the podcast. He's coming to us live from an Eastern European. I thought he might have been. You can look at the background. I thought he's in the kitchen with his girlfriend and with her friend and with the scoop and with High Stakes Poker. We got Jungleman in the house. Daniel Cates. What's up, puppy? Welcome to the podcast, man.
Thanks. Well, happy to be here, Mr. Flamingo Man.
Okay, seriously, you're in the kitchen, right?
Yeah, I'm in the kitchen.
Okay.
And my computer is literally tilted because I put like a wedge under it because like the battery is under the computer. I don't know if it shows up, but I did this so that it doesn't freeze. I just noticed that I think like somehow it keeps it cooler.
Really?
Some sort of weird circumstances right now.
I mean,
huh?
I was gonna say, what better setup to have as you're playing high stakes cash games for tens of thousands of dollars than having your computer tilted on a thingy thing? Wait, that's not how it usually set up, right?
No, but like if I want to if the GPL thing, this was an issue. My computer is actually freezing sometimes, and I found that if I put a wedge so that it's not as hot where the battery is, or whatever, or where the fan is, it just wasn't freezing as much. Or if I run a game, I was playing some computer games, and it didn't seem like it was freezing when I was doing that. So I just kept it on a wedge.
Could you buy a new computer? Would that help the situation?
Yeah, it would, but I would have to buy for games totally, for games alone or something like that. For poker, I have so much stuff on my computer; it'd just be such a pain in the ass to buy a new one. I would do it if it was under extreme circumstances, but it takes a while for me to put everything on it again, and I have to carry 2 computers around.
So, Jung, I found this out. I never knew this until recently. Is that you can take the hard drive out of the computer and put it into another computer if your other laptop can have 2 hard drives. So then you have the regular hard drive on the computer, and you put the new one in, and then all your information's on the same computer.
That should be something I should do, actually. That I should definitely do.
Well, it appears that people in the chat also used to do the same thing with their computer and laptop, and to keep it cool.
Really?
So yeah, so you're apparently this is a common thing that some people do. So.
You mean the tilt thing or the hard drive thing?
No, the tilt thing. Yeah, they said buy a cooling pad to put under a laptop. Having a cloth under the PC makes it a lot warmer.
Oh. Yeah, I'm surprised. I didn't think other people did this. It looks ridiculous.
So where are you at right now, man? You in Romania?
Yeah, I'm in Romania.
Are you out there for the duration of the scoop?
Yeah, that's pretty much the plan. Yeah.
Pretty much the plan. What do you up to? So when did we have you on last, Poppy? It was a while ago, right? Maybe was it a year?
It's been a while. I don't think it's been a year. I think it's been something like 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, how's the online been coming for you? Have you been playing mainly on the mixed game front?
I've been playing everything. It's just been going really well, and I've just been playing everything. Pretty much, yeah. I think since I forget when we last talked, but I must have been on quite an upswing since we last talked.
You've just been focusing on you're playing everything. So everything entailing.
Literally everything. There are only a couple things that I don't actively play or have much of an idea of. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily a Zoom regular PLO player or Zoom PLO ring player, for example, but I do play that. I would play it. I like to play it when it's soft. I don't know if I'm as good as some of those real battlers out there. I'm sure there are better people in the rings in the Zoom 6-max PLO, but I've been playing literally everything. You just name the game, I've played it. The only things I really haven't played are 6-max sit and goes, which I probably should play more, even though I don't think I'm particularly great at them or anything like that. I wouldn't be thrilled to take my action there. And then what else? Yeah, the 6-max sit and goes, and also the hypers, obviously. I mean, just like really obvious things. But other than that, I've played pretty much everything.
Wow, man, you really. I didn't know when you said everything. I was like, oh, he's playing a bunch of different games. I didn't know you're playing sit and go, 6-max, heads up, PLO, Zoom. I mean, you're literally out there just battling everything, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was also playing 5-card PLO as well and that's gone pretty well. All the things.
What do you think? So, okay, what do you think about this 5? Because 4-card PLO. I mean, I can't think of a better game. You get 4 fucking cards, it's amazing. But 5-card PLO, I don't know. It's like too many cards in a way.
Yeah, well, you have to I think. Well, first of all, I think that a couple things that people think about 4-card PLO are not really correct, but they're difficult to really like figure out that they're not correct and how to apply perfectly. With 5 cards, definitely some things change a lot, or a couple things change a lot. And the reason I didn't really like the game that much. But the reason why I played it was I played a session of it when I was bored, and I just saw like the most ridiculous mistakes that were just 100% wrong. And I was just sitting there thinking, wow, I guess I should play this game. And sure enough, I made like another like 100, 200K after that. So yeah, I mean, you do have to rethink some things. And I think that the way that people are conventionally think about poker will not really perfectly apply to that game, especially when you start adding more cards and start putting in more like funny details like that. Some things should be somewhat counterintuitive, I guess. And I don't know, in my opinion, people don't really get like a number. They don't get some things right about some other games anyways. So yeah, I mean, I just played it because I thought people were really bad at it, frankly.
Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those games that's still pretty fresh, and it's kind of hard to get really good at the game in a way because you can't really play enough hands at it. It hasn't been around for too long. There really is no material out there. There might not even be many other people playing it that you'd be talking strategy with. So you're sort of just going trial and error to figure out exactly what works, what doesn't, what brings over for PLO.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's sort of true. I mean, you can compare it. You can draw like parallels to other games like 4-card. You can say, what's the difference between 4-card and no limit? And what are the factors what are some of the things you're supposed to do in these games in certain situations? And how do these compare to 5-card situations and things like that? I mean, like some situations are almost identical. But others are just different in certain ways, and you can predict the ways in which they're different. And I mean, I could think of a couple examples. I mean, one example I'll tell you in 4-card. All right, one really simple example would be like aces. Okay, so aces in 2-card is a fucking great hand, whatever. And 4-card, aces is quite a tricky hand to play, I think, especially in 3-bet pots. There's some spots where you should just like really value aces, and I think people actually undervalue it in some situations. And so it's actually because there's 4 cards, it makes it kind of a decent balance. I think it's a tough spot, but in 5 cards, aces goes way down in value, and overpair is by itself is much worse than 5 cards, like compared to a single pair. So I mean, that's like one of the simplest examples. I mean, like dry aces is now like a significantly worse hand than it was, and 4-card, and obviously a 2-card too. One of the simplest things. I mean, there are other things too. I mean, obviously with the nut flush blocker and things like that, as an example.
Yeah, I would think that most players they wouldn't play like ace 5-8-9 without a nut suit very aggressively. But I mean, I guess some people still might be playing a hand like that a little bit too aggressive in 5-card.
Oh, well, that was one of the mistakes that I saw. They were playing dry aces like it was the nuts, but that's not true. That's not true at all. In fact. And even in 4-card, I think there are some situations where that's not true.
I think it's interesting how you said that you think that some people are now undervaluing aces at 4-card, which I think because there's been such like an obsession with people that make videos and talk strategy, they're always like, don't overplay aces. So I feel like now in some spots it may have gone a little bit the other way where people are just playing it super. They're just not taking advantage of some small spots or even some a little bit bigger spots. And now they're going to maybe think about that more. So perfect.
Well, I'm thinking of like a couple of particular examples that I won't say because people will not figure this out. In mostly post-flop situations, I should say. Pre-flop, things are a little bit different, actually. I would say things are a little bit different and leave it at that. Yeah, I think aces are a little bit tricky to play in four card, basically. But I think people aren't like that bad at it. And I mean, I can't claim to be an expert myself because I haven't like put in a shitload of work on like how to play aces. I haven't like sat there and said, okay, there's like 30 situations. How are we gonna play aces in all these situations? That just hasn't happened.
Yeah, I think it's ace. Yeah, aces are a very interesting spot. They've changed so much over the years, and at PLO especially. And back in the day, it's just like auto 3-bet all aces, auto c-bet stack off any flop. And now it's sort of like, all right, maybe you want to play that check back sometimes with different spots and stuff like that. So it's kind of what makes the game fun. It's PLO is a great game. What's your favorite game right now, Dan? What's the game that you're really like playing the most?
Definitely no limit. I mean, no limit's just fucking. There's just so much stuff. I think it's the game that's like closest to like where skill matters the most. I mean, you can overbet and do all this crazy fucking shit, and there's just so much to the game where because you can choose all these sizes, and a lot of people just refuse to use different sizes when actually it's a viable option. Um, and Yeah, I mean it's like it's analyzable to some extent, and the biggest edges are possible, and there's most to the game. So yeah, that's my favorite game.
Yeah, I remember the first time that we did a podcast together. We were talking about which game was more complex, PLO or No Limit, and you're like, No Limit is definitely the more complex game, and usually that's not something you commonly hear.
I would not say like if someone definitively said PLO is the most complex game, I would not respect that opinion. However, I mean, I wouldn't respect it unless they just knew a shitload. But it seems so unlikely that that could be the case. That most of the time, I would say that their opinion is more the result of bias instead of actually being the truth. My impression is that No Limit is the most complex game, but because of the fact it's the most complex game because there's so many different situations where there's like range advantages and overbetting really is like a key factor in play. But like if someone's, I can see reasons for why PLO might be more complicated. Uh, there are a number of reasons, and I mean, there's a couple of reasons why I can't talk about it. But I think PLO is pretty damn complicated too. I like PLO too. It's just one thing that really sticks about PLO is it's really like there's a shitload of variance and whatever. Um, uh, I wouldn't say that like PLO is like way less complicated than No Limit. My impression is that No Limit is more complicated, partly because one reason is because also because in PLO you're sort of like locked into a decision based on your equity, and the answer is really obvious in these spots where just like sheer equity matters. Whereas like No Limit, that's usually not the case because you have less cards, and now it's more in terms of like what's your equity versus their range, which is a tougher question to answer than what's their equity when like they have aces a lot or whatever, or dry aces or whatever. If that makes sense.
Have you been getting a lot of No Limit Hold'em action lately?
Not really. I've gotten some. Uh, I've gotten some. I mean, I wanted to play. I wanted to try playing a bunch of people, and then just to see what happened. And then not that many people have played. But I'm willing to play No Limit against a lot of players currently. I mean, I don't know for sure if I'm a favorite, but it's been going pretty well against most people. Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to play. I was trying to play Doug also, but the rake doesn't make that situation very viable, according to him, I guess. But I would play him and see what happens. I played him a little bit, but I guess he's like offline or whatever.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people in the chat right now are asking about. I've seen you show up on Doug's stream once in a while. You guys play in a 6-max game or might play some heads up at smaller stakes. And, Doug right now is debatably, if what he says is the top heads up Nolan player in the world. I always say debatably because you could always debate it. But do you think that you and him are the same? He's better than you, you're better than him? Or do you think that you guys haven't played enough to really know who's the best right now?
I don't know for sure, but I'm willing to try and see what happens. I wouldn't want to say that I'm like for sure better than or whatever. I don't see how I could really give such a strong opinion. My impression is that he is missing a couple of components about this game. I felt that for a long time. I think that more so now. I think that his students are for sure worse than me. I'll tell you that. And except for Dong, I think Dong's pretty good. But I'm willing to play against the students as high as they want. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with his fucking students.
Which ones are the students? Who are we talking about? We got I don't know fucking students. There could be a lot of students. I really don't know who the students are. We got I'm not sure who the student. Jason, JMO, Jason Les, JMO. Are those students? Ryan's playing mainly American sites right now. Who are the other students, man? Who are their names?
Well, I mean, I was saying that also I was referencing also people who like try to copy his style. Jason's a friend of mine. I mean, both Jasons are actually friends of mine. I don't know how they play, but I like them a lot. I don't really want to. I don't really want to like push them around, and I think they're not really playing that much heads up currently. But Swarm, you know, I've had a little bit with the Swarm. I'm happy to play them some more. Yeah, I want some more action on that. And just other people who have copied his style too. I mean, like Doogie Dan plays somewhat similar. I thought Doogie Dan was better than the Swarm personally. But I'll play Doogie Dan, obviously, and a bunch of people are copying his style, really, or copying a lot of things that he did. I was not a fan. There's a lot of things that they just clearly don't understand, and they're just looking at things not in the right way. And I don't know. I did not think they were favorites. In my opinion, I would be willing to play them for a lot. For the other people who I think are quite good, I play them, but I'm not like as happy about it. Let's put it that way.
Interesting. So I guess yeah, Jason Mo. Shout out to JMO. Shout out to Jason Les. Obviously, good friends of the podcast around here. But yeah, I don't know how much they're playing really. I think JMO's retired. He's just like a professional. I don't know what the fuck he does. I gotta be honest with you. I think he travels first class. Like sometimes he's been spotted in business class, obviously, and then he's on the sushi grind. He's on the live game grind. I don't even know what JMO does anymore, man. Do you know what he's been doing?
Not really. I think he's playing tournaments. I think that those guys' decisions to play tournaments, their decisions to play tournaments was a good decision. I mean, tournaments definitely seem pretty damn soft, and they did. I thought they were right about that, frankly. I'm considering playing tournaments myself. Fuck, they're so tilting, and I mean, the tournament aspect of the game. I think I'm a little weaker about. I mean, I even made a mistake recently. Very likely. Probably not a huge mistake, and my assumptions were correct. But tournaments are not my specialty. But I'm pretty sure I'm good enough at them currently for a few reasons. I mean, when you start them, they're usually like cash games, but the ICM factor really changes a lot of things. I thought about this a lot actually, but some things are more extreme than I thought. But I'm interested in tournaments.
Yeah, we had Doug on the podcast the other day, and he went on this big thing about how tournament players are fucking terrible. They're so terrible at poker. There's really not many good tournament players who really understand poker when you start talking poker with them. And he basically said a lot of the guys who are breaking even at mid-stakes cash online are probably much better at poker than tournament players are.
The statements that Doug made are mostly true. I agree, except that he's forgetting a couple of factors. In fact, tournament players did in fact get a couple of things somewhat right, as it turned out, with some of their tendencies, and they're more intuitive of how tournaments should play than cash game players as a default. However, yes, they fucking suck at poker. Yes, you can become better than them if you work hard, whatever. So he's mostly right, yes. And usually his line of thinking is what costs, in my experience, what results in some kind of like unexpected loss or not as much money or whatever. Like, I mean, I'm sure Doug and his boys are better at poker than tournament players.
Interesting. Who are your friends right now, mainly in poker, Dan? Who you been hanging out with, talking with?
Kind of a bunch of people, actually. I mean, I know the Germans pretty well. I would say I'm friends with them and I talk with them. a decent amount. I hadn't really. I talked with like kind of a lot of different people. I was in Asia for a bit and was hanging out with a couple people there. I know some other European players. I guess I know a lot of European players. Come to think of it.
Well, because you're mainly over on the Romanian girl grind over there, Dan. So you probably like you're in that world. You don't really come back to the States much, it seems like. So when you're over there, it's probably just the people that you run into. And you've been playing a lot over in Asia at all? Or I know you were there a couple times. You got the Manila Shuffle pulled on you and by the Manila live games, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I went over there recently-ish. I was up a ton actually at one point, and then I ran bad, and the game was really big. But I still ended up winning quite a bit for myself, or a decent amount. Like, I'm happy. If I go there every time and win this amount, I'd be happy. Yeah, I'll be going back there soon. There's some games there. Oh, yeah, I went over there twice. Both times I won. Sorry. I did fuck up one particular hand that I remember at least. I wonder how big of a mistake it was. But I was sort of, yeah, I remember that hand. I'll be going over to Manila sometimes.
What's the hand, Dan? What's the hand? Let's see. I mean, maybe some people in the chat, these Nolan pros we got around here that are creeping in the shadows can maybe they'll
my play is far from crazy. Basically, so like we're playing like 5 or 6 handed or something like that, no limit. I forget if it's 5 or 6. Let me think. It must have been 1, 2, 3. I think it must have been 6. And I think under the gun raised, I 3-bet in the small blind with ace-5 suited, and I got cold 4-bet by Vladimir. This guy's name was Vladimir. I don't know if I should say his full name, but it probably doesn't matter. So he cold 4-bet me, and we have a little bit over 100 big blinds, and I decided, you know what? Fuck this guy, I'm all in. I didn't think, I wasn't sure if he does that with ace king. He should actually do that with ace king, I'm pretty sure. And you know, I get a pretty decent hand to shove against a cold 4-bet. So, you know, seems like I thought he might have been bluffing too much.
So you guys it was 5 or 6 handed, you said?
Yeah.
Who was the original acer? What kind of player was he?
He's a solid player. He's probably like slightly looser than me pre-flop is my guess.
Interesting. So you think that you're just not sure if that was the right player? I mean, 100 big blinds in that spot, in theory. How bad could it be, do you think?
It depends. It can be quite bad. Like GTO would probably have you do, I'm not sure if GTO would have you do this actually, but Headsup it would have you do something like this sometimes. GTO would probably have you shove like ace queen or something like that. Sometimes or something like that. Anyways, yeah, in retrospect, I did not think that he was probably bluffing enough, basically, and that I was probably just running into too many hands there. That was why I thought I misplayed it.
What are the blinds in the games out there that you're playing in?
Well, that game wasn't that big. The other games played very, very big. It just depends on who's there. That game was like 100, 200 no limit or something like that.
So that game was a small game, 100, 200.
Yeah, the right people weren't there, basically.
And the right people are there. The game plays pretty big, right? Like very large.
It can play sometimes up to like 1K, 2K US, and sometimes it plays like much bigger.
Sometimes it plays much bigger than $1,000, $2,000 blinds.
Yes.
Holy fuck.
That was the time when I was up the world, and then I ran bad and lost most of it.
Is that the infamous thing you tweeted about?
No, that was the first time I was in Manila.
Oh, interesting. So when you play in a game there with Tom Dwan, who you guys have this long, ongoing, never quite ended challenge, is there a certain dynamic that takes place between the two of you, or is it just like, I mean, what can you do at this point in time, or you know, what's that even like?
Right now we are friendly. We are on good terms. In my experience with these situations, there isn't really that much of a dynamic. I mean, it doesn't really make. It's sort of a weird situation but it doesn't really make much sense for me to create a dynamic there, on the table at least, especially in this situation. So really there isn't. I mean, we're like hopefully going to sort it out. I mean, I believe he intends on sorting it out. He's very convincing, that's for sure. If he doesn't intend on sorting it out, he's definitely fooled me. With
We're lagging? I think we're lagging a little bit, guys. Eastern European internet. Whoop. It's coming back in and out. Whoop. Nope. Wait. Nope. People on YouTube getting this lag too? I think so. Well, we might be getting a lag and a little freeze. Hold on. I have to get some shout outs here. Let me message Jungle and have him come back in. We are live, guys. Technical difficulties happening around here sometimes. Jungle, it's in and out over there, Poppy. It's in and out, or it's mainly out than in, if you can still hear me. Tom Dwan, DD Austin. I mean, maybe, could have, never know. I can kind of hear you a little bit.
Oh, my computer was lagging. This is the problem I kept seeming to get rid of.
It sounds like an alien. All right, let's see if this is better.
Maybe if I close certain things.
All right, yeah, it sounds better now.
Yeah, now it sounds better for sure.
Okay, we're back, guys. We're back. We're live. Technical difficulties happen sometimes, but yeah. All right, so where were you? You were talking about the Tom Dwan thing, about him being convincing.
Yeah, I believe he intends on sorting the challenge. You know, right now his dad's sick. I'm letting him deal with his dad.
Wasn't this been going on for like 5 years now?
Yeah, you're right.
So is the idea that you're going to finish the challenge online or something still, or is it just that he's going to pay you a certain amount of money?
Yeah, finish it online. I mean, in my opinion, if he doesn't meet like a next deadline, I just say he needs to forfeit. It's like getting pretty ridiculous at this point. Like he didn't even play any hands.
I mean, full tilt doesn't even exist anymore. Like you can't play on the site. It's not around anymore. It's a non-existent site.
Yeah, he can play on some other sites though. I mean, we can definitely play on some other sites.
Yeah, Dan. What a fucked up situation, buddy. What a God, man. It's so crazy. What do you think about the upswing poker video they made about #SaveTom? Did you see that video they made?
Yeah, I did. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I was reading some people that were saying that they thought it was a little bit out of line because Tom could be in he could actually be in like a serious situation where he's being, I don't know, held, trapped. I don't know exactly what people were trying to say, that he might have been being held there, and we might be joking around with something that could be a serious thing for him.
If he's held there, that's news to me and everyone else. Yeah, that doesn't appear to be the case. He's in New Jersey.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, most people are like getting very offended by the video and kind of stuff like that. But I thought it was pretty funny. So, what's your I guess mainly your play is online right now, right?
Yeah, but I'll play in Vegas. I played in LAPC or in LA, also in some other live places.
How do you decide where you're gonna go? Is it just like, I mean, because you're kind of in Romania. Romania is a slight distance to travel. You get back to LA or Vegas and then to go back over there. So how do you decide in terms of where you're gonna go play compared to playing online?
It's a good question. Well, it depends on where there'll be action. I mean, I knew there would be action in LAPC. There's a shitload of action. There's going to be a shitload of action in Vegas that I'll be able to play at least. I mean, some games I'll be less thrilled about than others, but what else are you going to do? You can negotiate, of course. Yeah, I mean, you just know where the action is and you go there. But I like sort of messed up, and it's because of this one fucking idiot. I was trying to collect money from this guy, and it did not go well.
Get money in terms of get money to play at where you were going to go to, and then you didn't have money when you got there?
That sort of happened too, but also I worked my way around that problem. But the problem was that this guy owes me money, and he's fucking scumbag, and he's not paying. So I have to figure out how to deal with him. And I was trying to collect money.
This seems to be is this a common thing with you, or a lot of people end up owing you money?
No, actually, it's not. Usually people that owe will try to pay back at the very least. There are only a few examples where I've been completely fucked over. I mean, this guy completely fucked me over. This guy had he was just out to fuck me. But most of the time, that's not the case. Most of the time, it's people owe money for different reasons, like they lost their money, that kind of thing. With Tom, I don't think Tom is trying to fuck me over, but I believe that he is irresponsible.
And this guy is a different story, though. He's just another guy.
This guy is straight scum. He's 1000% straight scum. There's no evidence that says anything to the contrary, and I just have to figure out how to deal with him.
Is this a situation where you don't want to out him because of you think it's going to reduce your chances of getting paid, or is how do you look at that?
That and that's one reason. Yeah. I haven't decided how I'm going to deal with him yet. I might just spite him and out him or something like that.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Because I know Phil Galfon wrote a piece a couple months back where I guess he loaned somebody money, wasn't getting paid back the money, and he chose to go ahead and out the person on the Poker News article. And
I would, if I did that, it was more like as like a spite. It wouldn't be like really an attempt to get the money back. That would be my my just fuck this person line. That's what it would be.
So how do you look at it in terms of, I guess, outing him to the community so that it doesn't happen to other people, assuming that he's in a position where he could borrow from other people, compared to not wanting to out him because you still want to get paid or get a chance to get your money back?
I guess that's a reason, but that reason in my mind should not be greater than me actually being able to retrieve my money. I mean, like, yeah, he might screw them over, but it's not necessarily, he might screw over other people, but it's not solely my responsibility to warn the world. And I have warned people actually, but if I out him, this hurts me much more than it helps even everyone collectively. I mean, like, there aren't even that many people that he can really be in position to screw over. And I mean, there's also a more cynical view of where, people should have warned me, but they didn't. Until it was too late, and I was most vulnerable in this situation. Had someone warned me, there was no way I gave him anything. But more so, I just don't think that I'm morally responsible compared to like the loss they've taken. Oh, and in addition, that we still play with the fucking guy, and so basically he's playing with partly my money. So. Yeah, I don't think that I owe someone anything. I don't feel that at all.
So when you play with the guy, if he ends up winning money in that session, are you something where you're walking in the cage with the guy like, hey, why don't you give my money? Like, how does that does that work?
Well, yeah, I would be doing that actually. It's sort of a weird situation because this person's like sort of a wild card. But I mean, he did not win recently. So what was I going to say? Yeah. So it's not really a great situation. I don't know if there's anything I can do, frankly. Anything conventional anyways, but we'll see.
Conventional. That's bringing back old memories there about the alleged hitman story, Jungleman. I don't know if that, we don't want to talk about that. Let's not get into that, break no terms of service of any governments out there, but
No comment.
The alleged hitman story. I don't even know. I remember where that came from, but the chat worth mentioning a bunch. So, what's how do you? So when you're playing these live high stakes games, they seem like they're at much higher stakes than your normal games online. So when you're playing live and you switch back to online, is it something where you find it hard to readjust after you going through potential these $1 million plus swings at the live poker games, or is it something where you kind of could just flow right back into it and still look at it in a pretty good way?
What was I going to say? Yeah, I mean, that's actually a good question. I mean, it's very problematic actually, because I have to sell or be willing to like lose a bunch in what I think is a plus EV situation and have to grind it back playing lower or whatever. So, you know, it's sort of a difficult spot. I mean, for some reason, live games play enormous and online games play much smaller, which is ridiculous in theory, but you know, what are you gonna do? So yeah, I mean, I guess just selling them. The good news is they're usually softer. I mean, there's always like some like thing that live players are better at than online players or whatever, as a general rule. But yeah, I mean, usually I just sell or something like that.
So it's kind of like you're playing the equivalent of the same stakes when you're playing live and playing online.
Not quite. Usually I play a little bit bigger live.
Yeah. Yeah, I just found that in my, I guess my experience over time, obviously on a much smaller scale in terms of you're playing like 5100 live and then you're playing, you know, 5, 10, 10, 20 online. Just seems like those, you know, when you lose like 30K live and you go back and you're playing online, you're just, I mean, it sort of seems hard to just kind of balance the two. And I mean, also it's different skills in different games, playing live games, different skills, playing online games, especially if you're mixing sit and goes together, you're mixing 8-game cash, heads up, 6 max, you're playing full ring live, playing tournaments live. It just seems like, do you feel like you just have that good of understanding of a lot of the games that you can feel like you're always playing your A game, even if you aren't really in a rhythm of playing the same game? Or do you find that you sometimes struggle to readjust to different games for a period of time?
That's a good question. I do not think that I'd struggle to readjust. No, I can change between games pretty fast, actually. I have a really good memory for these kinds of things, but I do think that there are tiny details of these games that I don't know so well necessarily, depending on the game, that translate into leaks of mine, or I don't know like population reads or something that could be relevant. Whereas if I can play a game for a while, I can say, okay, people do this, people do that, whatever. I can do this exploitatively versus everyone, blah, 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 or people bluff too much here, whatever. Whereas like if I play all these games, it's much harder to see that. However, like many of these games don't really even like, they like barely even run. So I mean, it's hard for me to really get much of a sample from that perspective. But I can work on them in a vacuum or something like that, which I've done.
I think that's one of the things that whenever I talk with people who are trying to get better at poker, they always say like, yeah, I'm playing PLO, but I'm also going back and playing some no limit, and then I play some tournaments. And it always seems to me that's one of the hardest, like that was my biggest problem with switching back between two different game styles in the past before I ended up becoming someone who was winning consistently, was that I was trying to get better at 2 games at once. And the things that make you good at this game aren't going to also make you good at this game. And it's just like, you know, it's really hard to really get that good at that when you're playing both games. But it seems like there are certain players who can just do that so well and just bounce between games and just still do very well.
Well, another thing that I forgot to mention is there's some aspect that helps in that if you study one game, it sort of helps you for another one, because you can see things that happen in one game that mean something in another game. This is what happened with me with No Limit, especially. Like I was looking at some things for No Limit, and I was realizing how these things should affect PLO as well. Things like that. But I can think of like some other comparisons as well. I mean, one really obvious comparison is like when I'm playing Badoosie live, I can compare it to you know, just 7 ranges, right? So like obviously, no one knows what the fuck to open in Badoosie in a vacuum, but if you know what to open in just 7, I mean, you can guess what you should be opening in Badoosie. or have at least a pretty good guess. Not a perfect guess, obviously, but I mean, there's some things that are definitely different about both games. Yeah, I mean, things like that matter also. So it's in some ways it helps, but it also does complicate the problem in terms of like you don't know 100% if you're winning in some spots. And I did go on kind of a large downswing last year. I mean, a lot of that was due to PLO variance actually. Like a lot was due to just running really bad at PLO and running way under EV. But also I wasn't playing a couple games as well as I thought I was actually. And I looked at some things and I was like, wait, I'm doing these things wrong. I should fix them. Yeah, so
Interesting. Which games were that? Which games were those?
well, I changed some things with no limit actually, and limit hold'em.
Limit hold'em. Yeah, someone in the chat said something about you're playing the limit hold'em bosses. Is that you've been battling with them a little bit?
Very little. I haven't played them very much. I was just playing them for fun, and just to see and just to play them and see how they played and that kind of thing. I wouldn't say I thought I had an edge against them necessarily. Not against the bosses, that's for sure. Maybe against some like not so great players, but you know, I was just playing them and seeing what happens. I think I've got a reasonable idea of how to play them. It depends on now. We'll see.
It kind of seems like limit hold'em takes away the most fun part of no limit hold'em, which is being able to bet any amount that you want to bet at any given time.
Yeah, well, you don't pick the game that they play, do you?
Oh, so some people only give you action in limit hold'em.
Yeah, no shit. There's people that I'm playing in limit hold'em only play me in limit hold'em. They're fucking limit hold'em specialists. They're like, oh my god, I have Jungleman, and he's not a limit hold'em specialist. I'm gonna play. This is what they're thinking.
Yeah, I know there's been there was the match. Speaking of that, there was a GPL match with Nano Noko, and so Jungleman, you're kind of the I mean, I don't know if you agree. You're kind of like the MVP of the first couple weeks here of the GPL with your interesting and humorous table talk and table behavior during these matches.
Well, thank you. I need to start asking for a raise, I guess. That's what GPL needs to do. They need to pay me a little more.
I think I wrote something on the site that I have, onepokerlife.com. Shout out to me. But I wrote something on the site. I was like, Jungleman, they should probably give Jungleman a raise because I mean, your matches are fucking entertaining as hell. They're just, because you're kind of needling people. You're like, oh, if this was for real money, you know, it'd be a different story. Or none of you guys will even play against me if this was, you know what I mean? So you're sort of like, in a way, it's like you're taking shots at other players, but also taking shots at GPL at the same time. It's kind of, it's like an interesting thing to watch.
Yeah. I think some of these people deserve some shots, especially Nanonoko. I'm pretty sure everything you said was just total bullshit, but you know, I can't help myself sometimes. Yeah, what can I say? I mean, I want to play for money. I think I'm better at this format than almost any of the players in there, so I want to play for real. It's so tilting.
Didn't you say something like, if this was for money, no one would be playing in this or something like that? Or if someone had to put up their own money, no one would be playing in it?
Yeah, I think that's true for like a lot of people in a lot of matches. Well over like 75%.
So I was thinking about that. I feel like there'd be a lot different players playing in the league if you had to put up your own money. But I feel like we could still there'd still be a league. It just would be much different players who would be willing to put up their own money in this specific type of format.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
But yeah, I don't think a lot of the guys that we're seeing in there would be those guys though. So what did you think about Nanonoko's trash talk during your match?
It seems good for the show. Slightly annoying, but slightly annoying just because like there's just like I get annoyed too easily about these dumb things. It's like very slightly annoying, but I knew he's full of shit, so it didn't really matter. It's slightly annoying partly because I've lost so many matches. That's really why. I just wanted to win one. I'm so steamed. Like, what the fuck's going on? I might have made a mistake. Like I don't think it was a huge mistake in like one of the sit and goes that I played. But other than that, I I wasn't making very many mistakes. There are a few other mistakes I made that were more subtle. Just on tilt from this whole thing.
Are you on tilt because you're not winning them? Is that and the combination of things?
I'm on tilt because I've lost a decent amount of them. That's why.
Yeah, some people on the forums were saying they thought Nanonoko was being kind of a douche. And I gotta say, Nanonoko was just trolling for the lulz on the GPL. I mean, he's not. Nanonoko's not a fucking asshole. That's not the kind. Nanonoko's just having fun with the GPL. That's sort of what they want to happen. They want some fun dynamics and table talk to be taking place, and he's sort of just playing that up. So that's not the kind of person that Nano is.
Well, I was annoyed because the commentary, they're like, oh, maybe Jungle's playing bad, like why is he losing or whatever. Like they're starting to say, oh, he's making mistakes or something. So it's like, I want to play for money. I mean, what are you paying for money if you think it's like that? That's annoying. Yeah.
I mean, the format is it's a super high variance format too.
Yeah, I mean, things should be close to coin flips. I mean, things like this will happen. It's not unsurprising. And my result is not even like that extreme. I mean, it probably happens something like, I don't know, like a quarter of the time or something. Maybe less. I'm not totally sure how often my result happens. Probably less, I guess. But still, I mean, if you have like however many players happen, or how many players are in it, like I guess there's like 20 to 30 players in it, maybe more, and a slightly extreme event happens. I wouldn't call this a very extreme event. Happens 20% of the time, 15% of the time. Like obviously it's going to happen when you have 30 fucking chances for it to happen. So you have to look at the whole big picture really. And also if you compare the results to what are results even for losing players, it would be extreme even for losing players actually, unless they were like massively losing. So I mean, the results like relatively meaningless, and there's all this hype like, what's Jungleman doing? Like, why is he losing? Like, maybe he made a mistake. Like, well, maybe Elk is playing great. I'm just like, God damn it! Like, why do people think like this? It's so tilting. And I'm just sitting here thinking like, statistics. This is gonna happen. Blah blah blah. Yeah. It's just mostly bullshit, but what can I say?
Yeah, what do you think about the GPL so far? Just in general.
It's good for like media. I mean, it's good for promoting poker. The formats are really high variance, man. I mean, it's like they're all like somewhere between a super turbo and between a turbo and a hyper turbo or something like that. I don't even know like the exact details, but they're pretty high variance. I don't know. It's probably a good idea. What can I say? I don't really understand why it exists actually, but I don't know very much about the GPL.
Yeah, I remember the first time. Weren't you playing something else, or you misclicked or something? Something happened the first match you played, right?
I didn't misclick. I misread my hand somehow. I like somehow thought I had like ace jack suited or like ace 10 suited, and I had jack 8 suited. And I just raised and called it off and lost. It was not fun.
And then I think some people were saying, is Jungleman taking the GPL seriously with if he's playing high stakes at the same time, or if he's doing, if he's multitasking instead of just focusing on the GPL match.
Yeah. Well, I was taking it seriously. Apparently I thought I had ace 10 suited, but I did it.
Are you gonna be playing in these live matches? Like they got the live matches coming up here in Vegas, I believe, over the summer. Are you gonna be scheduled to play in those?
I don't know if I'm scheduled, but I would play in them, sure.
I think it'd be fun. I don't exactly know how that's gonna work. I don't really know much about the live matches in Vegas this summer, so I don't know. I can't even speculate on how it's gonna be set up, if it's in studio or if you're standing. I don't really know. But have you heard anything more about that?
No, not really. I haven't heard anything about it actually. I didn't even know there were live matches in Vegas.
Oh. Live matches in Vegas, Dan. Well, hey, now you know.
Yeah, well, I'll be in Vegas, so there's that.
Yeah, what's your Vegas plan here coming up?
I'm gonna go to Vegas. I'm gonna play some cash probably. Might play some tournaments. It's always I usually end up playing cash, and then we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna gamble it up.
Yeah, I remember last year I saw you in Bobby's room. You were playing in like some three-handed game with the is Mike Drummond, is he a live PLO end boss like I've heard from some people, or do you think that's not true?
I don't know, but I'm very speculative when people say that someone plays so great live and they don't play good online. Like, why would that be the case? I have no opinion on Mike. He probably plays well, but it's just the only thing that I contest is just that someone plays really good live for some reason doesn't play good online. I mean, yeah, there's some reasons for that to be the case, but like, I mean, what are they gonna do? Pick up live reads? Like, that's the only thing they can do, right? Or not tilt. Do other players tilt? I mean, I don't tilt when I play live. Are you kidding me? So slow. Like when I went to LA, there were just all these players were like, oh, like Matt Kirk's playing so good live. I'm just like, okay. And then they're saying, oh, but this person plays really good online. Now they don't play so great live. I'm thinking, okay, where's the proof? Like, how can you know if someone plays so great live and doesn't play good, and somehow doesn't have results online? Why does that make sense? Why do you have a sample for live? How can you watch them play and you think they play good? How many times have you watched someone play 50 fucking hands and you had a whole picture of their entire game? It's just so, or whatever, maybe not 50 hands, but even like 500 hands is completely like meaningless. Like, I don't understand how like these perspectives can be comparative or comparable, or how these things can mean something when clearly math and statistics and whatever say they aren't. And even like if you've played more than like 5,000 hands, you should recognize that that you really need a lot of hands to really judge how good someone is. And somehow we just get these like crazy fucking opinions about who's good and who's not, that are just people are so sure about, and it just baffles me. I mean, I don't know why people think half the things they do, especially in poker. But people are real fucking sure about a lot of things that seem like they shouldn't be sure about. Especially when it comes to live players thinking someone plays so fucking good live. Yeah, I don't agree. I'm willing to play Matt Kirk for a shitload of money, and I'm not quitting. That much is true, and he can pick the fucking games. But I do like Matt for what it's worth. I do like Matt. He beat me. He beat me in Big Bet Mix in LA. Actually, he beat me for like, it was such an annoying thing. He wants to play these fucking enormous stakes, right? He wants to play like bigger than 501k effective, big bet, and like there's like 2 games that I've like never played before or something like that. Just like Potma Badoogie or something, and apparently he played much more than I thought. But I just don't see how he's playing these games well. There's like 8 different games in the mix. Okay, only Potma Badoogie I didn't play before, but the other ones I did play actually, and some a decent amount. Anyways, so he like makes me like find cash to play like 500k effective to get like a few bullets or whatever, and he plays like less than 2 rounds, wins like 130k, and then he quits on right before No Limit and PLO 8, which I imagine he plays terribly, both of them. And then players are saying, this must be like less than 100 hands, and players are saying, oh, like Matt Kirk's so good at big bet Headsup, and like, oh, what were you doing playing him? I'm like, all right, well, I want to play some more. I mean, he's got some talent. He's got some talent for sure, but I just don't buy this whole like someone plays great live thing. This makes no sense to me. So, if I see people doing things terribly wrong, which, maybe Matt does or doesn't do, I'm going to play them some more. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, there's just a lot of that going on live. It's so weird. And for what it's worth, I do like Matt. I do like Matt, and he's got a lot of poker talent. But you know, maybe he needs to take things a little bit more seriously. Got that to say.
It seems like he's been playing a lot in the past year. It seems like he's probably plays a lot of live poker. It seems like.
Yeah, he does play a lot. I mean, he's got some talent for sure. Like I wouldn't doubt that. But you know, when the guy starts doing things like straddling every hand when he's losing, like you can't make up for that. This is a huge leak. Like that alone, not taking into account anything else about his game, will prevent him from winning if he starts playing ridiculous when he fucking loses. And I'm not even talking about anything else. Like, and some live players do these things like way too much. These are big mistakes, and they act like they're nothing. Straddling is horrible. Like that much I can say, and they do way more ridiculous things too. It's just.
Wasn't that kind of why you're winning in the games, or the games are good, or why the games exist? Because the players that are playing in these games do things like that.
Sometimes that's why, yeah. Some players don't do that. I mean, yeah, not everyone does that, but you know, you see things like that happen, and they think they can make it up because they remember this time when they buffed the guy, or they had a live read, or they thought they had a live read, or just some other bullshit that's really just, you know, you can think of like the equivalent of a line, or it's just reminiscent of a logical error that people have made forever. Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons why games run. I mean, usually they run for a reason, actually.
Usually they run for a reason around a fun player or multiple fun players.
Yeah, I mean there are other reasons too. There are a few reasons. Sometimes it's because of funny dynamics where like two players in the game think they're bad and the other players are hunting them. Things like that happen. Or sometimes they just run because people are bored or they think they have an edge.
Uh-oh. Aliens back here, boys. And kind of back in the house. Independence Day 2's coming out. The aliens are taking over the podcast again on Jungleman's side. All right, we'll get some more shout outs here. Who we got in the chat? We got a lot of people in the chat today, guys. Welcome to the podcast. Let's see who we got here. Ben Hellstrip. What's up, Ben Puppy? What's up, buddy? Gills Cornelius. What up, Gills? Laura's friend. What's up, Laura? Laura's friend. My boy D-Dog Killer Puppy. Lee Jam. Alex T. D-Neg's a bad reg. Patrick. What up, Patrick? Morgan Adair. What's up, Morgan? David Castillo. What's up, buddy? Oh, Jungleman might be coming back. Fixing that lag. Ariel, Ari, Lil Papito, Frank Logan. I can kind of hear you, Jungle. It's cutting in and out.
Hello?
I got you now. You're back.
Yeah, apparently that error that I was talking about linking your computer is not gone yet, unfortunately. So I'll have to figure out how to solve it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if this happens and you're playing some massive pot and this lag kicks in?
It did happen for some smaller pots. It only happens under certain circumstances. It does not happen. It doesn't happen unless some media is running, or I'm like on a Skype call or something like that. Like that's when it happens. I was trying to fix it, and so I have to like take more precautions for when I'm playing.
Yeah. What do you think about just getting a new laptop just to play poker on?
I just have to reinstall everything. That's the only problem.
Oh, reinstall all the
or trade the hard drives. Switch the hard drive. That's something I have to do. Or get this one fixed. I'd rather get this one fixed.
Can you get it fixed? Is that possible in Romania?
Yeah, for sure it is.
I don't know, man. Listen, when I think about Romania, I think about tall girls with sexy bodies. But I don't think about computer shops like on the corner ready to fix the Jungleman's computer. You know, I just don't don't put the two of those together.
You'd be surprised. I don't know. They fixed my phone a couple of times when I've thrown it and that kind of thing. So.
You throw your phone, Jungleman? No.
or I like hit my phone, or it's been broken for some other reason. I haven't thrown it in a while, to be fair, but it's been broken for some reason.
Whoa, what you saying? Oh, yeah. I think most people that watch on GPL, they feel like that you just tilt constantly, but doesn't seem like you deviate much from your play. It just seems like you might be tilting on the outside. And you've said this before on the podcast. You tilt on the outside, but in the inside, you're still playing pretty well.
I was never tilted for GPL. There's no point where I was playing remotely differently. I mean, if you look at the hands that I just took my decisions with, those were, I mean, none of my decisions were exceptionally crazy.
Do you feel like that it's always like that, even when you're playing for actual money?
Yeah, I mean, actually, in this case, I was exceptionally controlled. Let's put it that way. I was definitely taking it seriously and just made like one or two careless mistakes. But if someone thinks that because I'm gotten upset for a second or whatever, because I made an outburst or wants to play, I mean, by all means, we can play. What can I say?
So during the Vegas live games, it seems like there's a lot of the PLO games. There's some of the mixed games. There's some of the no limit PLO games. How do you decide which games you're going to play, or if you're going to play at Rio, if you're going to play at the Bellagio, or you're going to play in the RA games?
I try to play. It kind of depends. I mean, mostly I look for like what I think is the best game, but I sometimes pass that up for a little bit if it's like shorthanded or something, which I'm better at than full ring, and it's quite a bit more fun. I think full ring big bet's really fucking boring actually. Yeah, it's really boring. So I try to play it almost as good.
It seems like early in the summer the games. Well, I guess 300K. Are you playing 300K by the way?
No, but I should have probably done something for that. It's whatever. I mean, I have to fly to Vegas and whatever. I mean, it seems like a great tournament.
Can you still get in if someone backs out, or is it something now you can't get in?
I could try. I could ask. I'm not like dying to play it. Just because these high rollers are just sort of annoying. I could try. I mean, it's. I need to find the dates also. Actually, I think it's like not until it's like mid-May or something, isn't it?
I think it's the 24th. Let me check real quick.
It's the 24th.
That might be a little bit after that. 26th, 27th.
It's really reasonable. That's that.
Yeah, I'm sure they have a waiting list now. It's 49 players, so I'm sure they have a waiting list for it too. And then the politicking comes into play in that situation as well. May 29th.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe it's something that you should look into, Jungle. You got to get on. This is where I guess the behind the scenes networking comes into play when you have certain people about the Bobby Baldwins of the world. You got them on speed dial, I guess, to potentially try to get you in that.
Well, this thing wouldn't be like that hard to get into if there's a room. I mean, I don't think they're gonna pull any special strings for me though.
Right. Yeah, Charlie. Shout out to Charlie Carroll in the chat. What's up, puppy? We got to get Charlie on the pod soon, man. I like this kid. He said there's a big waiting list already on Happy Face. So yeah, it appears that there is a big waiting list already. So, do you think when in a situation like that, is there a lot of politicking behind the scenes that comes into play if a spot does open?
No, not really. It's mostly who asks in this case.
Yeah, like first come, first serve sort of thing.
Yeah, this thing is not. I don't think unless there's something I don't understand. This thing is not like a private event. Yeah, if you just like be assertive, that's probably enough.
Are the cash games that run in Vegas, do they start off small and then get bigger and bigger progressively as the summer goes? Or is it if certain fun players maybe start going an upswing to start, then they'll want to play higher and the action sort of runs from there as a few people get stuck over time?
I think they're somewhat erratic. However, if a game starts, it never gets really smaller. It only gets bigger.
Interesting. So if a certain game starts at the beginning, it'll sort of run throughout the entire summer.
No. I mean, if a single game starts on a day, and it will never get smaller, and it will sometimes get bigger. It usually plays at least the stake that it starts at. and people, because of straddles and because whatever, sometimes the single game gets bigger. But once it ends, it can like it doesn't necessarily start at the same amount the next day.
No, it's interesting. So it's not like it's where let's say a certain fun player's in town for a week. He plays in a game. The game starts 100, 200. He ends up winning a bunch. He'll stay for longer, and the game will keep running. Or if he busts, the action will sort of die in that specific game for maybe weeks, or you might not be able to play that variant.
Sure, that happens for sure. I don't know if it necessarily gets big. It sometimes gets bigger. It just depends. I mean, how big these guys want to play, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it seems like cash games are much more. I mean, I can understand why you might say you want to play some tournaments, but just once cash games get running every night and you're playing late at night, you don't really want to be bothered to wake up in the morning and play, play most of the tournaments unless it's, I guess, even the 10Ks maybe you probably can't be bothered to play.
Well, it's really more the matter that the tournaments, they run for a really long time, and if you play them, you can't play anything else, and you can't quit them whenever you want, and that kind of thing. It's not so much. I mean, yeah, what you're saying is also a problem, but it's more that what I'm saying is also is probably a bigger problem.
It's a bigger problem in that if you're playing a tournament and it goes for 3 days, then that's 3 days you can't play anything else.
Yeah, well, if you make it to 3 days, that's pretty good. But most of the time, you're going to make it to 2 days way more. That you're going to make quite a bit more than you are going to make it to 3 days. If you make it to 3 days, you're probably in the money and deep or whatever.
Yeah. It's the old dilemma when you go out and you play high stakes live cash is that how do you might want to play tournaments, but then how do you factor in the potential loss of EV or loss of hourly? And I guess it depends how you approach or look at the situation then.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating. It's frustrating to me that we have to do this live actually, but there's always something. There's always something. The whole reason why you do it live is because people like to play live or something, and instead of online. I mean, online just things go much faster. Maybe people imagine they have bigger edges live because they pick up stuff, which can be true actually. That can be true for sure. But I think people overestimate these kinds of things. Personally, it depends. If someone really, I think. In most cases, if you really try to hide live reads and things like that and play how you normally do, then it's not really any particular point in playing live. And it's much slower.
Well, do you think there's also some merit that certain types of players or people are just going to be, they might not be good at making a lot of decisions in an hour playing 100 hands online, for instance, they're playing that in an hour, whereas they're playing, 22 hands live, they're going to be making really, really good decisions in those 22 hands. Therefore, their BB per 100 over 100 hands is going to be much bigger, whereas if they're playing online, their BB per 100 is going to be smaller in those 100 hands just because they don't quite have the mental stamina to keep up with that or do that.
I think that could be true. I don't understand that perspective because personally, I bored out of my mind and many decisions are kind of the same thing. Yeah, that makes sense. However, one thing you have to consider is that how it affects other people as well. If you believe that your decisions are better because you only play 22 hands per hour, like what does that say about other people's decisions as well? I mean, you have to consider both perspectives.
Well, they might, I guess in that situation too, they might consider someone that comes from an online background, then other factors start creeping into the mind. Maybe they don't necessarily know how to focus as well. Maybe they might tilt very subtly and sort of, so then those decisions that they might make online become worse live for other factors that sort of
that can happen. I mean, I think one mistake that a lot of online players make is that they play too many hands live because it's so slow. Right. It's like the sort of version of soft tilt. I've seen things like that happen. I don't know if maybe I did it actually more for Ring than for live, but I don't think I do that anymore because for a few reasons. But yeah, that can be a factor. If someone plays plays too many hands for sure. Things like that matter. But in theory, these games should be pretty close to the same thing.
Yeah, I think so in theory. But just that whole entire element of, you go from a couple hundred hands an hour, you go to less than 30 hands an hour. I mean, it's so hard to really know how that's going to affect someone, especially if someone who's plays online and plays live at the same time. Whereas if you're if you're just a live player and that's all you know, it's so normal. Like you're not on tilt because it's so slow, because that's how it always is for you. Whereas guys coming from online, I mean, maybe you play well for that first 2 hours when you're up money or when you're even, but when you get stuck, all of a sudden you just start doing these subtle things differently over the next 4 hours that are maybe not very good.
Yeah, that can matter. That makes some sense, but I wouldn't want to like rely on that for why to have an edge, you know? Like if you have to rely on something that might give you an edge in a way that you can't even look at, you can't even see, you can't even like analyze what your edge is or whatever from this thing. Like how do you know the person's playing worse? Like if you know that they're playing worse, okay, that matters to some extent, but like does it even translate to an edge, especially if they play better fundamentally than you? So yeah, I just think relying on things like this isn't particularly strong. And if you think that you're a fundamental favorite for someone, you want to make it happen faster. So if you think you're playing better than someone overall, generally speaking, you want to make it happen faster. It's sort of ridiculous to like say, oh, let's play in this weird environment where now you're playing like 10 times slower, and you know, like maybe you're gonna start fucking up hands because you're bored or whatever. Yeah, but I mean, I mostly play live just because like games run, and I just see people don't do a lot of fundamental things right. But I think sometimes I do miss these like aspects where, you know, maybe someone gave up a live tell, or you can see that people are about to fold or whatever. I think I do miss stuff like that in particular, and like but I would be real happy if we just played the same games online. Real happy.
I'm sure a lot of the fun players who play in these live games in America probably can't play online, and I don't know how it quite exactly works in some of these Asian games, but I imagine a lot of those games might not be playing online as well too. So go ahead. No, I was gonna say you go.
The Asian thing I understand more because it's like not even in their like it's not even in their culture almost, or that's not the right way to put it. It's not even in their like it's different. I mean, like most of the Asian players don't really know about online, whereas like all the live players in Vegas and LA know about online. They've played it before, you know. This isn't really the case in Asia that much, or it isn't necessarily the case, I should say. It feels like it's not really the case. It feels like they know poker from like their friends or whatever, and at least with like the big games, I should say. And I think the main reason is to play live is just that it's softer, frankly, that games run and that they're bigger. But that's the main reason in my mind. And I think a lot of players play for that reason. That's why I play, even though I'm not used to some of the things like mixes and whatever. But yeah.
I guess you feel like you're probably very, very good at picking up these games that you never play that are in these mixes that a potential fun player in the game wants to play. You feel like that even in that situation, your edge is still going to be big enough in those other games you do know how to play, and that you'll be able to pick up the game quick enough to be able to make up for your just never playing the game before.
I think I've not had an edge. I have not had an edge because the mix was just too crazy for me, or too fucking out there. And and most of the regulars knew how to play or something. I mean, I would play just because like maybe my AV is like whatever, and I didn't necessarily. I could maybe have an edge, and you know, if the one player is like punting something, I have to learn at some point, and that kind of thing. I think that I'd be better at learning the game than many of these live players for a few reasons, but I think that a lot of them have a lot of experience over me. In particular in these games and to some extent live, where maybe that matters. I'm not sure how much it matters. Yeah, it might matter, it might not. So I've probably played in some minus games where I wasn't a favorite. Yeah, but like the thing is, like most of these players have played all these weird mixes, like Daisy and whatever, or Ace to Five. Which, well, Ace to Five is not a good example. Like what else is there? Like Stud High Low, No Qualifier, things like that. They played like some really weird shit. Last year they were playing. I mean, this time they were playing Deuce to Six. It's 4 card Deuce to Seven. Uh, they just keep throwing stuff in there. Raz Daisy, just all this goofy shit. Big O, things like that.
Well, in
But I
theory,
don't think.
it's pretty advantageous for them to make up these games like in between the WSOP, because now you're going to have these guys who are playing these games in Florida or playing these games in Vegas or playing them in LA. And now you go to Vegas and you're going to be able to play these games with guys like yourself who want to gamble. They want to play high, but you've never played the fucking game. They've been playing the game for 10 months, 9 months. I mean, it seems very advantageous if you're the regulars to come up with different games over like while you have these this off time in between the high stakes LAPC or the Vegas stuff.
Yeah, and they cap big bet too. They really well, they play their own thing actually. This is like more their own thing than like some kind of like weird twists compared to what they're used to. They play this whether online players are around or not. They just like all these weird mixed games, particularly in LA. And Vegas, it's not as true, but they also cap big bet, which is stupid. But what can you say? I mean, it's just what they do. Yeah, it's advantageous, of course. I think that's an advantage. I think that's an advantage of live fire. I don't think or live poker is that you can make up bullshit games. And what are online players going to do? They're not going to play them very well.
Right, exactly. Like you sort of have no choice. I mean, I know a lot of guys who play in these games who don't really know how to play the other games, but I think a lot of really, really good players who are good at one or two variants maybe overestimate their ability to pick up these other variants, and they go into thinking, oh, I'll be fine, I'll be good. Maybe I'm have an edge in this spot in this game because of this. And whereas, it might be hard to actually know if you do or not. It's hard to really be able to accurately figure it out.
Yeah, there's a point where it gets too tough. It's more like, maybe. It depends what exact games are in the mix, I should say. And some things are tougher than others to really know for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in live, online, you got stats. You can import your hands into something and you can break down different situations, look at your BB per 100 in this spot, that spot, what you're doing in this spot, that spot, tendencies. Whereas live, I mean, it's sort of, you have to come from memory. You got to memorize what you're doing in all these spots, and you have to sort of guesstimate the history in terms of, all right, I lost in this particular situation in this game, and all right, how do I think about that? What do I think about it? But then it's sort of confused with these other games and other hand histories, and it seems like it's really hard to accurately assess it after the fact playing in these games.
That's sort of true. I mean, a lot of mistakes can be pretty easily assessed. And you can use parallels from other games, or whatever analogies. I don't know any other way to put it. Another thing is, like, it depends on the game. Like for PLO, I mean, you're a winner at PLO. You personally know you're a winner at PLO. If you play live, and you don't let live reads affect you, and you don't play too many hands, you're gonna win. You're your favorite. Blah blah blah. Whereas, like, also with no limit, you can know that. Limit hold'em, you can know that. With some other games, you can know that too. But if they start adding more games, now you have to like wonder how much these things affect things, to look for mistakes and stuff like that. I mean, definitely things become more gambly if they add like Raz Daisy to the fucking mix, right? You can only see like what must be a mistake in comparison to what is maybe a mistake. You have to like sort of qualify each kinds of mistakes that people are making, also how consistently they're making. Like, people probably look at some things I've done in Raz Daisy, which were horrible, and maybe think that I'm going to keep doing them.
Right.
Not true. I remember very well my mistakes. At least that's what I think. I have a very good memory for every mistake I ever make. Like, if someone's learning, my point is, if someone's learning the game, I don't think they're necessarily going to make the same mistake soon, but they will be making similar mistakes for a while, I guess. At least for a little bit, so there might be some value for that reason. But it might be hard to determine what's like a true mistake that someone's going to keep making, if that makes sense, which is where you actually get value from. And yeah, some games are tough, and even they're played online, like 08 and things like that. Stud, I mean, Stud's kind of tough. I wouldn't claim to be good at Stud, but it seems tough to figure out if unless someone's doing like something terribly wrong, if you have an edge in Stud, in my opinion. But what can I say?
I remember a specific high stakes friend I had who I think he felt differently about the Stud game. So I remember him talking like he felt like Stud. Yeah, it was interesting hearing him talking about Stud, because Stud's this like old school poker game that's been around for so long, and I think a lot of online guys that play it with a lot of live guys who've been playing it for years, they look at things from a different perspective, and they think that some of
Oh, I'm sure live players make mistakes, online players make mistakes in Stud games.
Yeah.
I'm probably one of those guys. What did he say about them?
He thought that he definitely thought that there were edges in a lot of different situations, and when we were talking about it, and I was pretty surprised to hear him say that. He seemed very confident in his ability in a lot of situations against certain players, and his experience certainly wasn't that much in the game. So I was very surprised just to hear him talk like that, because I've talked with some other players who felt like Stud, they didn't necessarily pick it up that fast, and whereas he felt it was like one of his better games, which I mean, retrospect can't be possible, but yeah. So when hearing you say that, I think it's interesting, because it's sort of the opposite of what he told me.
I'm sure there are edges to be had, obviously, but I would want them to be, for me to be able to say that, I would want them to be qualified. I would want them to be very defined, especially for such a speculative game. Oh yeah, you can actually use like Poke It or something like that to track your results, and maybe to eventually say, okay, you're actually doing well in Stud. I'm very to shit online in Stud, unfortunately. So maybe I'm not very good at it. I think I'm running pretty bad. I think I definitely made some mistakes in retrospect. Actually, yeah, I definitely made some mistakes. But I think I wouldn't want to rely on someone saying that from a mix, including big bet games and like Limit Hold'em or whatever. Limit Hold'em is very, very specific game, very, very technical game, very, very analyzable. Like I wouldn't be very confident in someone winning in the game if they thought their edge was coming from fucking Stud games. Let me tell you that. Yeah, I don't buy that. Maybe it is, but you know, that's the game that's hardest to tell that you have an edge in, and usually players that say they have an edge in it are players that are not very good at the other games. So it's kind of like, what does it mean, you know? And maybe they're right, but okay. There's definitely some things that are also quite high variance about Stud too.
Are you anticipating some of these higher stakes cash games online to be running during the Scoop? I know you got a lot of tournament players that are just that play Scoop, but also play the 8 game on Stars, and I'm sure there'll probably be more action running with Scoop on.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's the case. We're gonna see if that's the case. There's been some action already, so yeah, we're gonna see what's going on. Yeah, we'll see.
You know, the Star Zoom pools start heating up a little bit during this time, and you get some of those tournament specialists who sponsored by PokerStars playing in the high stakes games, on the mixed games, and playing on the PLO games from occasionally, and playing some of the 5K sit and goes and stuff like that. So this is kind of when these couple of weeks here with Scoop is pretty important for the high stakes players, especially if you've been grinding on some of these games and shit action on and off, and now you're actually going to have some consistent action throughout the entire day.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe I should play the Scoops. Maybe I should be around during the Scoops.
Well, it seemed like that'd be the optimal approach to take, right? When Scoops are going on, you want to be in the cash games kind of to get some of the action. Sort of schedule your time around, you know, beginning end of Scoop towards after they end for the day or the rest of the night, because some of the guys that might play Scoop and get stuck, and then they're going to keep playing when Scoops end.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same principle for World Series of Poker. I mean, there are games around when World Series of Poker's around, so you go with it.
Yeah. How does that work with the girlfriend situation? So you're with your girlfriend now in Romania. Shout out to Romania. Shout out to your girlfriend. How does this work in terms of you wanting to play as much poker as you can during a time like this, and you also want to hang out with your girl and go do boyfriend and girlfriend type things?
Well, she's not real thrilled about that. I mean, some days they set aside for it. I mean, I'll probably take like a couple days off, or at least like hang out early in the day and things like that. Like tomorrow, we might go do something. But it's not the smoothest thing. I mean, that's one reason why I prefer to be in Romania, so she can hang out with her friends or whatever, and I don't have to entertain her.
That makes sense. We got a couple comments here in the chat. Let me find. We got some really. I feel like the troll accounts are out on YouTube today. I'm enjoying banning you guys, so thank you for tuning in. Jesus. Pejez Quartet. That'd be a fake name. Joey. Okay. Please ask Jungle how long he was in Serbia. What made him come and stay there? Does he have any professional poker player friends here? Thank you.
I met a couple players in Serbia, but I don't. I'm trying to think. I could have sworn I remember someone from it. I don't know anyone really that well from Serbia. I came to Serbia, which is a group of guys trying to check out Serbia, and we discovered Serbia's secret. That the girls were very hot there. That was the secret, and they all spoke perfect English, but I don't think they're particularly easy. Yeah, that's all I've got to say about Serbia. It's a pretty nice place, actually. That much is true too. Even though apparently the U.S. bombed Serbia some time ago, and that was not. Yeah, people did not apparently have hard feelings towards the Americans, as far as I could tell.
So when you went there, people didn't give you shit for being American?
No, but maybe they were thinking in their head or whatever. You never know.
Yeah. Pejas Quartet says, thanks, Joey. You're both welcome in Serbia as my guests. I am LVL Call IEV77 Sit and Go Pro from Stars. Shout out to you, Pejas. That can't be your real name. Is that a Serbian name? What kind of fucking name is that? I like the name. I just don't believe it's a real name. So, all right, Pejas. Thank you very much, Poppy. Thank you very much. What have you been doing these past bunch of months here, Jungle? Have you been playing a bunch of just traveling around? You went to LAPC in February. You go to the Asia trip in January too?
I went to Australia, which was sort of worth it. I'll probably go back there. I went to LAPC. I went to Asia. I played a couple games there. What else did I do? I went to Monte Carlo, which I don't like. Fuck Monte Carlo. Always just got some really polarized. Monte Carlo has some polarized ranges, that's for sure. And other than that, I've been playing online. Pretty much that's it.
What do you mean by Monte Carlo? What do you mean by that exactly? The Monte Carlo?
I've either had like a real shit time in Monte Carlo or a pretty good time. I've had a little bit of both. I don't know, some things I really don't like about Monte Carlo, and there's things that are somewhat likable about Monte Carlo.
What are the likable things and what are the not likable things about Monte Carlo? I've heard it's a very expensive place.
Yeah, that's one of the not likable things. It's kind of tough to do anything there. If you want to go to the gym, it's pretty tough. If you want to do like a bench press, good luck. I don't know where to do a bench press there. So there's that. Not a whole lot to do there. You can go to some bars, I guess. It's a very pretty place. There's some action there. There's some good games. There's somewhat predictable games. It's good tournament action. That's about sums up Monte Carlo, really. It's not a whole lot to do, but it's very pretty and there's some action.
Interesting. I'm gonna give you. I've been drinking a lot of water. Speaking of the gym grind, I'm gonna give you a question, and I'm gonna go to the bathroom because I don't want to use the piss bottle live on the podcast here. So let me find a GTO question here. MTT rankings? What are you talking? We're not doing MTT fucking rankings. Come on, calm down.
I cannot give an MTT ranking.
Yeah, we're not. There'll be no MTT rankings on a podcast with Jungle. Come on, let's be real here for a couple seconds. Near-death experiences before. It's a good one too. Let's see here. Well, all these other questions I have to be present for because I want to actually know about them. All right, they say ask about David Castillo. Ask about OTB Red Baron.
Oh, I think he's very good.
Okay, go ahead. Make it. You got to. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. You got to make it like a 1 minute and 10-second answer.
Okay. Do I just wait for you, I guess?
No. You start talking now, and I can kind of hear in the background in the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Well, one thing about OTB is he's clearly using Sims. That much is true. He was not. He's doing some fucking advanced math. His approach is very different from many other players, and I think he really understands the game of No Limit. And I am afraid to play him in Ring, particularly. But I don't. Been battling in the Ring a little bit. I'll play him a little, and we'll see what happens. But I'm sure he's one of the best Ring players, and probably quite good at heads up as well, if not one of the best of those. Yeah, OTB Baron's pretty damn good. What can I say? He's a tough player. He's really annoying to play against. He always has the nuts for me. It's so fucking annoying. That I also have to say about OTB. It just always fucking has the nuts for me. It's so crazy. I just always call him.
Hard to fold, right?
Well, it's hard to fold when the person seems like they're over aggressive in all these situations, and they just keep showing some weird combination of the fucking nuts. I'm just like, why does this keep happening? I mean, I did have some other thoughts about that, but that sums up a lot of my experience with OTB. He has been bluffing sometimes. I caught him a couple times, but he's mostly just showing me a real hand, and it's not been fun.
When you said doing Sims, what do you mean by that? He's got like a in real time dream machine sort of thing like that, or what?
No, there's no fucking way he's a real time dream machine. Multiple reasons. If so, he's built his own thing. No, he followed a lot of the guidelines of what the GTO results of the Sims would be if you did them correctly. It appears that, yeah, it definitely appears that he's been running some simulations and he follows them pretty strongly. A lot of what he does is similar to what I understand to be pretty close to optimal.
Do you think who do you think are the best No Limit players right now online?
I think OTB might be one. If we're factoring Ring, he probably is. I mean, who the fuck's better than him? Ring and Heads Up. I don't know. I would hope that I'm one of the best. I might not be, I guess, but it seems unlikely. Who else? I would think Ike would be one of the best that he played. Just Ike never seems to fucking do anything that seems wrong. Or anything really that seems wrong, I should say. He does a couple of things occasionally. I guess Doug, but Doug doesn't really play Ring. The feedback I've gotten for his Ring game was not good. I mean, I know a couple of people that play Ring games, and they did not really like his Ring game very much. Let's see. But, I mean, he's the world's greatest heads-up player. Uncontested, sort of. What else?
Wait, is that not true? You don't think he's he said he says he's the best. I debatably say it, but you don't think so. You don't think he's number one right now.
I wouldn't say that he's. I wouldn't say it's 100%. That's all. No, he's very good, at least, and he's had the best results for a long time. So what can I say? Ring, I'm not so happy about it as play for a few reasons. I mean, when I played with him live, he was doing some insane shit, but I'm sure he's changed that. What was I going to say? I just, I always thought there were a couple problems with this game, but apparently he's just like, maybe he just adjusts really well to his opponents and he's just won a lot of money that way. And players just didn't really adjust back or whatever. I mean, what could I don't think I could really question his results.
Right.
But I will try playing it. We'll see how it goes if I get a chance.
Do you like? I've seen you show up in the stream a bunch of times. Do you enjoy just going over there and hanging out or playing on stream when he's playing?
Yeah, I think it's pretty funny. So yeah, I just screwed around and streamed a little bit. But I always get the auto muck right. I have not lied about my hand on stream. Yeah, it promotes their stream some, so thought there's some mutual benefit there. Provides me a little bit of entertainment.
Right.
Yeah, I just think it's funny.
What do you think about him streaming high stakes play in general? Do you think it's not matter, good idea, fun idea, bad idea?
I suspect she will be giving off something by doing this. It seems hard to not do it. I thought it was really obvious when he wasn't trying and when he was. Or I thought there were some things that certainly were not the result of lack of trying and some things that were. But I wasn't watching a stream for that reason. I just got that impression. And I imagine he's not going to fuck around at 10:20, really. I mean, there must be a point where if he plays high enough, he's going to start taking it quite seriously.
Right.
That's what I think.
Yeah, we're talking about Doug Polk, guys. For those who don't know, Doug Polk, aka WC's writer, recently on the podcast, streaming on Twitch on Upswing Poker Channel. Yeah, he said that during his play, he plays differently when he's playing on stream as compared to when he's not playing on stream.
There are some differences, but I can tell what they are. Kind of, at least some I can kind of tell, or I'm not sure, and some I'm certain are not different, or certain things I'm certain. It's hard to mask everything. That's just what I think when I watch.
And it's like he could be giving some things away he's not even aware that he's sort of giving away. And there could be players, if they really wanted to put the time in and study it or look at it, they could potentially pick it up and improve somehow.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I think anyways. This is sort of why I'm not particularly thrilled about the streaming. I have to think of like what I'm actually going to stream about. I mean, MTTs would be really entertaining because like some fucking ridiculous things happen in MTTs. And I don't really show that much of how I play in MTTs for a few reasons. And then, or just do some random shit. Like Limit Omaha would be fun just because it's just a ridiculous game. I played it live some, and it's so damn tilting. I actually did change my mind about a couple things regarding that game, actually.
Wait, are you thinking about streaming too? You're going to be on Twitch?
There's a chance. It's tempting.
Oh my God, what a glorious fucking time, baby! The Jungleman on Twitch. No way.
If I'd be worried about giving away information, I can't stream a game. It's just way too stupid. Unfortunately, I can't stream anything 8-game. I could stream like I'm like afraid to stream even like low stakes no limit. Actually, I could stream more like MTTs. That might be the thing. That might be the best thing.
MTT. You could be the next Jamie Staples on Twitch, Jungleman. If you play your cards right, buddy. Could be you. You could be the next tournament streamer on Twitch.
Yeah. What else? Other than that, I mean, like.
Uh-oh. Frozen again? The lag's back. Uh-oh. Couple more shots. Hold on. Who we got? Oh, Jungle, you back? The aliens in the house. Hold on. Wait. I hear something. Could be coming back. Almost. Break through the wall. Break through the wall. Take my energy. I think people still saying that take my energy stuff. All right, give me some shouts. Spyfire 12, Normac 11. What up, puppy? Dark Rage, my buddy Bruno. What's up? What up? Tommy Guns. What's up, buddy? Jungle, I can kind of hear you. Nope. Alien still there. Nope. Still alien. Luke Reeves. What up, puppy? Patters. Craig Frazier. July 130785. Papi, donda hasta la mena la mamacita asabrosas. I agree. All right, Chris. You got to go, buddy. Jungle's trying to fix this lag, guys. We'll let him try to get it fixed. Who else we got? Christina Johnson. Oh, Jungle, you back?
I'm back, yeah.
All right, welcome back, buddy. Wait, are you back? Okay, you are back.
Yeah, I'm back.
All right, good. Perfect. I had to give some shout outs in the meantime. All right, Jungle. So we had one of your former friends on the podcast yesterday. I got to ask you about. We had HASEEBQ, aka Doug said, aka Internet Poker's on the podcast. We talked about you a little bit during the when we got into the Ashton thing and the Girard thing what when you think back about Haseeb, what do you remember about him?
I remember that I was certain that I thought that he thought he was doing the right thing in a lot of situations. Excuse me. He did not think that he was doing something evil in a lot of situations. He wasn't like trying to like screw over anyone. I remember that particularly. I remember thinking at some point realizing that his opinions of things are not correct, and that he was overconfident in them, especially with dealing with the scandal. Like that was a major thing. I remember one thing also, fucking genius. We were trying to get into a country, and he's telling me to like keep everything as vague as possible, and then so we did that. I did that. I didn't say what my occupation was or whatever, and sure enough, we got pulled over, and they basically said, well, these guys are really secretive. We were the two fucking guys that got pulled over, and we went separately. And he was trying to say, oh well, we didn't have enough swagger. We didn't walk in. It was just about how we held ourselves. And then I said, and I realized, no, that's not why. It's because we didn't fill out our forms right, and we hid so much information. And then in the future, I just filled out my forms as corrected, and I always got into the country, including that country that we got into. We did get in as it happened, but that was one of the key moments where I realized, maybe this guy's wrong about a bunch of things. Yeah.
When you think
but definitely this guy. Huh?
No, so during the GR scandal, I guess he told the story as if you two went over to Portugal and you guys started staking him, and during the thing on lock when the guys dumped chips to him to get him money on the site, and then he was team viewing people and seeing their cards, sort of thing like that, which is a pretty fucked up thing. I actually forgot about that part. So I guess that story is basically how he tells the story. What'd you say?
We didn't actually go to Portugal. We were planning on going to Portugal. What happened was we went to Gibraltar to meet Poker Strategy or whatever they're called. And then this was about the time when Haseeb told me that it seemed that Jira had hacked a bunch of people, which was about the time when we decided going to Portugal was a bad idea. Yeah, we dumped chips to him. I remember that. I don't remember that being particularly bad. I remember that apparently there's this like bluff challenge or something like that, where you had to like win a bunch of, whoever won the most money won something for that site, Lock Poker or something.
Yeah, it was some sort of contest, like a main event seat in a Bluff magazine cover.
Oh, I didn't realize there was any. I definitely didn't know there were any cash game things. I did not know about this challenge at all when we were dumping chips, but he apparently did need some chips on that site, and we were staking him. That I remember.
So did you ever actually meet Jira in person yourself?
No. I talked with him on Skype though.
In like video?
Huh?
In video? With video you talked to him on Skype?
No.
But he's a real person. He is a real person, right?
Pretty sure. If he's not a real person, then my understanding of things is way off.
And during the whole team viewer thing, when he was team viewer, and it was just him doing it. You and Haseeb you guys weren't a part of that part at all.
No, obviously not.
Okay. I think that's what some people may have thought, I believe, because how the situation was handled, and I guess he didn't want to come out and admit to say things right away, and they were trying to do it behind the scenes, sort of thing like that. So I believe.
No, we were never accused of doing that by anyone. If you don't believe us, I believe even the people that we helped him get caught. Actually, we fucking helped him confess. So no, that makes no sense. And if you can ask the people that he was doing that to, whether we were part of it or not. In fact, I was like friends with K. Jemmy, Henrik, in particular. Like you can ask them. We had nothing to do with it. I didn't even they messaged me before Haseeb told me about this thing, and said something about this, and I did not think that Jira could possibly be doing this, but apparently he's a fucking giant scumbag. Who would have thought? Fucking great. And then I think Haseeb in particular took a pretty key role in making him confess. I don't recall myself doing anything in that manner, but Haseeb told me, and then apparently somehow he made Gira confess to cheating or something. That's what he told me. That's what I remember.
So when you look back on Haseeb, what's the way that you view him? Because it seems like a lot of people in the poker community view him as this big scammer or and not a very good person. But you were closer to him. You were friends with him. When you look back, how do you see him?
Haseeb, I assume you're referring to.
Correct, Haseeb, yeah.
I did not think that Haseeb was attempting to scam. I do think that he was trying to alter the perception of the truth in ways that were favorable to him. In his mind, he didn't really think he was doing that much wrong, but I don't think he was trying to scam anyone. Definitely not in his mind. But he did have some weird things. He did have some weird beliefs about things.
Interesting. Charlie in the chat said it seems so much like Haseeb either hired a guy to scapegoat or just fabricated this guy.
I doubt that. I mean, I very much doubt that. This doesn't even make sense.
Some complex type stuff in there, man. Very complex. Guys in the chat, let's get a couple questions from you guys, and then we're gonna wrap things up here. Is the girlfriend gonna make an appearance in this podcast also, Jungle?
If she wants to. She doesn't have her makeup on. Maybe that's why.
Sure, no. Not that's why. I'm beautiful anymore.
Oh my god, the Romanian girl accent. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. I like it. It's great. Let's see a couple questions here in the chat. How good is Danmar's heads-up game? My buddy Vernon wants to know.
I don't know. That's my question, or that's my answer.
What do you mean? Danmar wouldn't play? Danmar's not going to play a kid like you? You sure? Danmar, we're talking about the same guy, the very aggressive guy on Twitter talking shit on 2+2 everywhere. It seems like he'd be way up for the challenge to play you.
Well, he told me that he knows for sure that he's better than me, playing me at 2550 right before he quit as he normally does. And I tell him, let's play 50-100, and then he declines. But other than that, I'm not real sure how good he is. I don't have a strong opinion.
Come on, Danmar, get it out there, man. My buddy Bruno, aka Panda, said, "Would you fight Dur in an MMA fight?"
Yes.
Would you fight Olivier Bousquet in an MMA fight?
No. I would die.
Who's the person you'd like to fight the most in an MMA fight in poker? If you could pick one person to fight,
I don't know, some scumbag. Some scumbag.
Unnamed scumbag.
Learn MMA just for that.
Okay, Monk 1234. Joey, ask him about Jim A's game, please, mate.
Jin May fucked me up heads up. Who would have thought? He fucked me up. But I'll play him some more. We'll see if I can beat him. He was surprisingly kind of tough, but I don't know if he's necessarily playing good in a vacuum. It was not that easy.
This Jin May, is he a English guy?
I don't know. It's fucking goofball. Wild card.
Who knows where all these people are from? I don't even know. Jimmy Freaky. I put in Jim A poker. Jimmy Freaky came up first. So maybe I'm spelling the name wrong. It can't be Jimmy Freaky. Pseudonym. Is Dan optimistic about the long-term future of online poker?
No.
Okay. How much longer do you think we got? You people have there in the online poker world?
Depends on what you mean by that. I think that it will continue to diminish over time, slowly as it has been forever, until the highest games running are like 2-4, which I guess will be in like 2 or 3 years.
Do you think the highest game running will be 2-4 in a couple of years?
I would say more than 3 years.
Do you think that's a function of games just dying, or PokerStars removing the games from those sticks?
There could be some factors that change things, like Asian marketing opening up or whatever. But if things continue as they're planned, I'm certain that most games will die. Yeah, it's games dying, games becoming more efficient, people running out of money, people quitting poker, PokerStars raising rake, which actually expedites the process.
Right.
Probably. And yeah, I don't think that things are particularly good. I don't see why they would go in the other direction unless some large market opens up.
My buddy Tom Bannon says, "What is you can't be serious this question, Tom? Come on, Poppy. What is Jungleman's political stance?" Yeah, John, we ain't seen you ranting about it on Twitter, so why don't you give us your political stance while we're here, buddy?
Well, I think we need Donald Trump to like start building some walls and keeping away the Mexicans. And what do you think? I don't have any political stance actually.
Are you interested in, so this is like the first year I've ever really like been listening to political podcasts and reading things. It's kind of fascinating stuff.
I hold no opinion about political stances. I'm not nearly qualified to give you one, or to have one. I'd probably lean towards liberal, but I imagine not like a bunch of things that are talked about or something. Yeah, I don't really know, but it seems like the candidates aren't very good. And what else can I say? I don't follow this.
It seems like most of, well, not most of. There's a good number of poker players who don't know much about the political world themselves, but seem to voice their opinions in quite a loud manner when it comes to Twitter and interviews and stuff like that. It surprises me in a way, but it doesn't surprise me also in a way that people are so vocal with their opinions on different subjects that they don't know much about.
Yeah, I don't respect that.
You find that a lot in a lot of poker players that you meet?
Yeah, this is also a key trait of poker players. In my opinion, they possess some amount of intelligence to develop an opinion that has some truth to it, but they're unwilling to change it when it's when there's evidence to the contrary, and they're unwilling to look for evidence to the contrary. And this results in not performing particularly well. Also, I just don't like this behavior. It's incredibly innocuous.
Interesting. How's your job as a photographer coming along here in these past couple months? You've been working on your photography game, or is this something you've been? It seems like you've been slipping a little bit.
Oh, I hired an assistant.
I don't even know what the fuck that means, man. Come on, I'm not even gonna spy. I'm not gonna follow that question up. That question can go two ways, both ways. I don't want to talk about more of that on the podcast. So let me go down this list here real quick. What happened with that $5 million house investment you made, kid, in LA? The flipament.
Fucking genius decision. I'm trying to get out of it. It's on the market. If anyone wants to buy it, it's on the market.
So not a genius decision?
No.
Who would have saw that one coming, Dan? Who would have saw that one coming?
Because of my great tendency to trust the judgments of other people, I believe that they could do a good job, and they didn't that was my biggest mistake, I think. But yeah, I'm trying to get rid of it.
So how much do you stand to lose in that situation from percentage-wise?
I don't think I should say, but I'm trying to sell it for it's on the market for 6.5, but if someone gave me a reasonable offer.
All right, guys, anyone out there looking for a house in LA, please hit up the Jungleman. It's on the market for 6.5 million, and I know a lot of you guys there on Twitch, especially. I know you guys can afford that, so hit them up, please. Get in touch, and let them know. Let them know if you're interested in buying the house. So
it's quite a nice house.
Quite a nice house, huh? A poker player is probably not going to buy that house. How many poker players do you think could buy that house, Jungle, if you had to estimate?
No idea. Like less than 10, like ever.
Less than 10 ever? I don't know. What do you mean? Phil Ivey doesn't have $10 million still, like everyone talks about?
Yeah, he probably does. Yeah, but less than 10. I mean, currently, that exists since ever. I guess is what I meant to say.
Okay, I like that. Anything? Let me look at the list. No, just that. Got that. Have you been going any more into entrepreneurship in terms of business side of things since we last talked with you?
Not currently because I've been too preoccupied with other stuff, but I do want to.
No. What have you been distracted by? Just poker, or is other things besides poker?
Let's see. No, other things besides poker for sure. I mean, I've had some offers and stuff like that. I'm not really in a position to invest in more long-term stuff, and it really takes a long time to realize. And I probably want to be more instrumental to their development than just throw some money in there and then see what happens.
Right.
Just because, well, you get a better deal, and also because it just seems tough to like get a good deal if you're not really in the industry. Like if someone's just looking for money and they're looking for some money from some poker player, it just seems like I just don't see how like that spot can really be that good. And
Right.
also because like if someone's doing the work for me, or if someone's trying to give me something of value, I feel kind of weird if I don't give them something of value back.
Yeah, it seems like if it was such a good spot, they would find someone in their own industry that would be willing to invest in what they're doing rather than come to you who has no knowledge or expertise about anything that they're really doing and saying,
Yeah,
hey, give me.
Yeah. Well, sometimes there are some exceptions to that. I mean, like, yeah, there are some exceptions. I mean, and in a couple of things, I indirectly did actually provide some kind of value, but I prefer to be more like hands-on. You know what I mean? Or provide something more in terms of value and than in terms of like giving them the right connection or that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you probably offer value in ways that to different people that you can't really know for sure until you start talking with them or you start figuring out exactly what they're doing. And then you can sort of give your perspective on maybe the way you see things. And then you never know, they might pick something up from that and it could turn into something good or something smart or a smart idea.
Maybe. I've been pretty impressed with the people that I've gone with so far. I don't think I'm giving them too much in their own field, that's for sure. They're already like answering questions I'm not even thinking of. So, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be tough to really contribute if that's what's happening.
Helena Angelina on YouTube said, I had no idea you were streaming live tonight. It's my first time tuning in real time. Rapt to have stumbled upon you in Jungle, dishing it up. Rad podcast as always. And Michael Schleller says +1 Angelina. Much love, guys. Much love. You're tuning in first time live. Thank you very much. Guys, we're going to be back on Wednesday with Jungle. You've been friends with this guy. We're going to have, oh no, never mind. He's not coming on anymore. Never mind. I'm going to have him on. Who else am I having on this month? Jungle, who do you think I should have on? Give me a suggestion, Poppy.
Would you get OTB Baron on?
So I tried reaching out to him before, and he decided he wanted to do it at that time, but that was when I first started. So maybe now he might consider coming on. I don't know, man. It seems like he's like pretty far ahead in the 6-max. I'm not sure he should come on the podcast. He might be giving, I mean, he could be giving a lot away. You never know.
What about like True Teller or Alex Kostrichin or one of the other Russians?
I think that's a good idea, True Teller, because True Teller, I know he was doing a lot more stuff in terms of being in the public last year. That's actually a good idea.
If he wants to, anyways. Or Mikhail Thuritz, like these guys, or the Germans. I mean, any of the Europeans, I guess.
Yeah, I talked to Mikhail last year during the World Series Poker for a little bit about potentially coming on the pod, but I don't think we've talked since then about doing a pod again. So, but yeah, Matt KIRK. What about Matt KIRK, your boy?
I do like Matt KIRK for the record. I feel bad just because I'm not a fan of a couple things with this game. You could try to get him. I don't think he'll do it, honestly.
I feel like he's the kind of guy I'm going to need to see during Vegas this summer. We're going to have a couple drinks in us. And then when I talk about getting him on the pod, and he's like, yeah, sure, I'll do the pod. I mean, he seems like a sick fucking guy. I mean, he's got a lot of gambling in him. He likes to play, he likes to action. I'm sure he's got a very fun story, so.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a gambler. He's definitely got some fun stories. That much for sure. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, it's got to be on our list here. Should we ask Vernon, you out there, Vernon? Should we ask him the masturbation question? We should ask him it? You sure? All right. Jungle, new thing we've been talking about. And so we've been putting sims in the lab here. A lot of people out there have also been putting sims in here and trying masturbation during poker. Have you ever done it? Do you think it's plus EV? Or have you not quite went down that road yet? I personally think it's plus EV in terms of de-tilting in a spot where you might be tilted. But you don't tilt, so maybe you don't need it.
Seems pretty like a pretty awkward question. I mean, I've done it before, but I don't know if it's full CV.
I love asking this question. It's one of our new favorite questions, Jungle, and people love the question. I'm not sure why. I don't know. People like really are curious about other people's preferences, but I think it's a good idea for people out there if you're wondering. So I would suggest trying it a couple times and let me know the results. And
I wasn't expecting that.
Why not? What do you mean?
I don't know. It just seems like such an awkward recommendation.
Well, like you need it's 2016. You need any edge you can get, Jungle.
Huh?
You need any edge you can get in 2016.
True.
It's like if you can.
People get desperate.
I mean, listen, if you can pick up an edge in a spot where you might be tilting, let's say you play your A game, you play your B+ game, B- game. Now you interject this potential thing into the mix. All of a sudden, you take that B game down to an A- game. You know, I'm just thinking. I don't know. I feel
you're definitely you've got some vision, that's for sure. You've got some ideas.
I've been doing this for 3 years or four years. 4 years this has been on my mind. I used to 24 table PLO and do it.
Oh, that's that's funny.
Oh my God, Jungle! Anything else we need to talk about, buddy? Is that it? What else? You got GPL coming up. You got Scoop coming up. What else you got coming up here, man?
I don't know. I don't know what else.
That's it, huh? Pictures on Instagram. Are you on Instagram?
I'm not on Instagram. No, I'm on Twitter.
Twitter. Okay.
Yeah, I'll tweet the stream too if send me a link. I might have tweeted it already.
Oh yeah, I'll send you a link on I'll send you a link on Facebook and then put it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. I think that's it then, guys. Any more questions? Probably. That's perfect. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. I'm not sure when I'm gonna be back with actually Tommy Angelo, who longtime mental guy, mental coach, mental guru, wizard, meditation wizard. Probably this week, hopefully. I'll be having on Alex Scott, who's the head of poker for Microgaming Network, next Monday, the 16th. Next 16th, we're going to talk about microgaming and why their rake is so much lower than everyone else. And Justin Bonomo, Fedor Holes, Max Greenwood on the 23rd. That's it. And then we're going to try to get Timofey Kuzanov on your request, Jungleman.
I don't know if he wants to do it or not. It's just a request. You could also try like Igor Kurinov. I don't know if he wants to.
Not Igor. I had Igor on the podcast last. See, I had Igor on last summer during when we were out in Vegas. We did one live together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You got to get the people live. That's the key, Jungle. You got to meet them live, and then when you talk to them in person, they're much more inclined to be excited to come on the podcast. I figured out over time.
Well, generally, when you ask someone something in person, they're a little bit more likely to agree to do it, in my experience. But not always true.
Wonder why that is. They feel like they harder to say no in person.
Yeah, I think that's why.
Do you have an updated last thing? Do you have an updated power rankings for best looking women countries?
Eastern Europe, basically. I suspect maybe there are a couple other places I want to go to too, but I prefer like everywhere along the Mediterranean, really, like Italy, Spain, these places, but also Romania, like Serbia, Ukraine, all those places. I suspect like Israel and those places are pretty good too.
No, Jungle, we have to make this like a bucket list thing before like the next 5 years. And I know you tried to hook me up with a Romanian girl. So shout out to you and your girlfriend. So I kept this towards the end of the podcast. I didn't want to mention it at the beginning. You know, who knows who's watching right now. But Jungle actually tried setting me up with a Romanian girl, one of his girlfriend's friends. So shout out to Jungleman, dude. Listen, none of y'all motherfuckers in the chat been trying to hook me up with one with a Romanian girl. So I gotta say, big shout out to Jungle for that. But at some point in time, we need to do some sort of Eastern European grind trip somewhere where we go do some exploration in terms of one of these countries on the women before we both get married, because then once we get married, we can't do it anymore. But we got to make this happen over the next like 5 years at some point in time.
Yeah, we can figure something out at some point. I've done a few of those, so. I
know you have, buddy. All right, guys, we're out. Much love, guys. Be back soon. Everybody on Twitch, everybody on YouTube. And yes, Tom, I'm back to single. See you later. Thanks, Jungle.
All right, see ya.
Peace.